All right, so installing the clutch was a pain in my ass. Uh, Took it to the shop on base, and I was gonna change it out. The lift that I needed, there was a couple vehicles on there that people were working on their vehicles but weren't even there, so couldn't use the lift. So I was like, I really need to change out this clutch because I'm about to go down south, right? So, anyways, lifted the car, put it on jack stands, had a buddy help me. Uh, Watched a couple videos on YouTube, the instructions as far as making sure everything we did was, you know, from experiences that we've seen online, and then obviously following the instructions to make sure that I'm doing this correctly, right? So, anyways, went through, got there about 9, got done about 4:30, got everything on there. Um, One thing that I did notice is when I took out the transmission, that now that I see that it's on these FA motors, uh, when I took off the pressure plate, there was a disc behind it. It was a round circular disc about the size, I don't know, it had like a 5 to 6 inch diameter. Okay. Didn't know what it was. I was like, I'm not going to need this. I was like, well, it's already on here, so obviously it's meant for something, right? So, anyways, I put it back on, and it goes around the surface area where the pressure plate sits on the motor before you start bolting it on, where it mates up. So I left it there, got the new pressure plate, cleaned it off, put it on there, tightened down the bolts to, I think it's 56 foot-pounds. Torqued them down to that. Got the clutch, put the alignment tool in it, lined it up next, into the pressure plate. I'm sorry, the flywheel. Okay, and then I got the pressure plate, bolted that thing on. The bolts for the pressure plate, and ACT gives you new bolts to replace those. Those are torqued down to 26 foot-pounds. Okay, did all that. I struggled with the transmission because, one, it's pretty heavy. I took it off by hand. No jack, no nothing. That thing was heavy. Okay, so if you're changing out your clutch on these 2015 WRX and motors, make sure you have a transmission jack. Okay, don't be like me and just I'm just gonna lift it off by hand and lay it on my chest and roll out from underneath it. I did that and it hurt. Okay, I got scratches across my face. I'm bruised up pretty good, scratches everywhere, whatever. So, anyways, after I got everything back on together, bolted up, went to go start it. Well, I should say attempted to start it, and she cranked, but wouldn't start. It's like, what is it? Am I forgetting a connection, a ground? Pushed the car out of the bay into the parking lot next to the facility, and me and a couple other guys were troubleshooting, checking for connections, disconnected the fuel line, made sure I had fuel pressure, pulled out spark plugs, getting sparks. So I knew I had spark, I was getting fuel, I knew I had compression because she's turning over. That's not how I know that I had compression, I just know that I had compression. Anyways, couldn't figure it out. A few days went by, I ended up having the tow company come and tow it from the facility to my house, and was able to push it into my garage in here. So it's a single car garage, so I was limited to space, right? So I was able to get the car up in jacks again. Say, you know what, I got to get it done. So pulled off the transmission again. I thought it was just misaligned. I pulled off the transmission just to see maybe it was aligned properly or something, I don't know. Kind of find out when I took off the clutch, I was inspecting the clutch, and actually I have the clutch right here. It's another paperweight. So this is the clutch that I got from ACT, right? Brand spanking new, okay? But when I threw in the transmission and I was bolting it together, since it was so heavy, my mistake is, instead of getting the transmission onto the back of the motor and pushing it on all the way till it's flush, I got it on as far as I can, and then I started the bolts from top of the motor and the transmission, and I just worked it kind of forced it on there, worked it on till it was finally flush, and it was a pain in the ass. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. So, anyways, when I took it off, I was looking at it and I was like, man, what are these hairline cracks? I don't know if you guys can see them, but right there. Come on, focus. Right there. All around right there. Yeah, you see those, looks like hair, yeah, those hairline cracks right there. I was like, well, that's not normal. Then I was looking at the teeth. Look at those teeth. Oh. Yeah. So the input shaft wasn't even aligned into the clutch disc itself. And all the times I was trying to start it for troubleshooting, the input shaft was just eating away in those teeth. Thank God that the material on the clutches, and I'm assuming every clutch disc there is, the material is going to be a lot softer than your input shaft. So in case it's misaligned and you go and try to start your car, the metal for the input shaft is a lot stronger, so it'll just eat that away as a point of failure. So that way you can just replace a clutch disc vice, the input shaft in your transmission, jack up your transmission, right? So anyways, so I was like, well, I can't use this because one, I can't even get the alignment tool all the way in this thing no more. So that next morning I called ACT, let them know what was going on, what happened and everything. The tech that I was talking to was like, okay, give me your address. We'll send you another one. Boom, hooked it up. So shout out to ACT. You guys came in clutch. So anyways, got that in. It was what I thought was gonna be overnight. It was 2 days later. I finally got it in. Had my other buddy show up to help me out. Threw everything back on. And the car still wouldn't start. So I was confused. I didn't know what else to do. All my connections are done. All my grounds are good. Everything's aligned. When we put the transmission on, I mean, she slid right in. So I knew that the input shaft was aligned with the clutch. I don't know. I was thrown off. So it was about 2 a.m. I was sitting on the couch in the garage, just dumbfounded. I thought maybe it was my battery that was dying. So I was YouTubing low voltage battery preventing starting car, right? Everybody knows that. When you go and try to start your car on a dead battery, it just clicks and it won't start. So anyways, then I stumbled across this video of a guy and his dad working on a 2015 WRX, replacing the clutch, but it was misfiring. And in his hand was this disc. Okay, come to find out, that disc that I was talking to you guys earlier when I took off the pressure plate the first time I did this, and I didn't know what it was, that 5 to 6 inch diameter disc. It's a silver disc. I wish I'd taken a picture. I was showing you guys. But anyways, this disc in the back of these motors is the crank position sensor. This disc is called the reluctor disc. Okay, and what it does, and it has teeth on it, whatever. And what it does is, obviously, when it's spinning, it's telling your motor, okay, everything's good to go, blah, 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 whatever, right? Well, if it's not aligned properly, it's not going to let you start your car, okay? So went back, dropped the transmission once again. Since third time I dropped the transmission in this car. It's the first thing I went to go look. And sure enough, it was off about 180 degrees, okay? When you put it on, there's no bolt. It doesn't bolt on or nothing. What's holding it in place is the pressure plate. Okay? And, oh, focus. All right, anyways. So, I checked it out and everything. And the way that it sits to where it needs to be at, there's a small little dimple that you have to like really look at it for it to be aligned perfectly, so that way it prevents a misfire and doesn't let you allow you to start the car. Okay, so Make sure that reluctor disc is aligned properly. And I'll try to see if I can link the video that I saw in case you're changing out your clutch yourself, okay? Or if there's any shop out there that's happens to be running to the same issue, this is what I came across, okay? So anyways, fix that. Throw everything back on. Clutch is aligned correctly. Transmission went back in, hooked up everything, and then the moment of truth. Got in the car, boom, she fires. Starts. I was happy. I have a video of my buddy recording me and how happy I was when I started, so I'll throw that in here. But yeah, if you guys, you 2015 plus WRX guys out there, changing out your clutch yourself, watch this video. I know I'm not showing you what I'm doing exactly, but at least hear me out and make sure that that reluctor disc is on properly and everything's aligned. Your grounding straps are good and all your connections are good to go. Okay, so hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe, leave a comment, something. I'm trying to build this YouTube video up. I am leaving, like I said, I'm moving to a different state, and I'm going to try to make as much videos as I can. And show you guys what else is out there in different states. I mean, I know you guys seen different videos of, you know, car shows and everything, or you guys are already in that state, but it's just my little life vlog of what I'm going to start doing. And yeah, hope you guys like this video, and I hope it helps you guys out if you guys are changing out your clutch. So again, subscribe, leave me a comment, a thumbs up if you like this video. All right, thanks guys. You guys take care.